Hi, this is Tim with rcnoob.com. I have the Carisma Lynx on my workbench right now. I really have been having a blast driving this truck. My son has been having a blast driving this truck. It's seen a lot of action this summer, and we're really just, having a good time with this truck, as evident by all the dust and other things that I'm finding stuck in the chassis right now. However, there's been one issue with the truck, especially with my older son driving it. He's not really accustomed to driving a crawler. In this crawler specifically, or this trail machine specifically, in its stock configuration has been giving him a little bit of an issue when it comes to stopping. Now, the drag brake on here is perfect if you're going down a hill or if you are descending from rocks. We've done all that with this machine. Works perfectly. But if you're just cruising along the trail and you need to come to a stop, it's a very, very sudden stop. And it's kind of throwing him for a loop. So after doing a little bit of research and talking with some folks from Carisma, in fact, Peter Gray, their brand manager, kind of gave me an inside track on some of the parts and pieces that they have on the newer models for these machines. We decided to take a look at Carisma's ARC-1 brushed ESC. Now, this is an ESC that they have developed for this vehicle, and they are also putting it in some of their other brushed powered vehicles as well. It is replacing this Hobby Wing ESC that the first couple runs of these, the Lynx and the Coyote, had in them. If you buy the Carisma STA-1E Coyote kit, it should, I believe, come with the ARC-1 ESC. So we bought one of those from CarismaShop.com, $34.99, not a bad price. It's not going to break your budget by any means. And again, if you are getting a newer release model of this, you might actually have this ESC installed versus the stock or the previous Hobby Wing version. So there should be a little more adjustability on this ESC. Just looking at it through the package, it's a lot smaller. Size really doesn't matter to me right now. Just, we're looking for a little bit better braking performance and a little bit more tunability, and that this new piece should offer that. So we're going to go and get that installed. As you can see, I've already started the teardown process. I've removed my cap from my receiver box. You'll have to do that, 4 screws, it pops right off. There's a block of foam that I've also removed. You'll have to take that out as well. I might try to rerun my LED light cables while I have some of this stuff opened up and a little more accessible. We're going to be popping this free from the mounting plate. I believe that's just held on by double-sided tape. So I've got some double-sided tape here. It should be a fairly easy install. So we have the ARC-1 out of its package. Looking at it top to bottom, side to side, you'll notice that there are no jumpers. If you're familiar with the Hobby Wing ESC that came with the Lynx and the Coyote, you'll know that that model has jumpers. So there are no jumpers on this, but it is programmable. Looking at the instruction manual, which thankfully is a sheet of paper, it has 4 ESC modes. First is forward reverse with smart brake. Second is forward only with brake. Third is beginner mode, slow acceleration. And then it has a 4th crawler mode. So we will definitely have to look at the instruction manual to find out how to toggle our way through those different settings, as I'm not seeing a button to do any programming just yet. So let's get the older ESC off and get this new one installed and see what we can do. We're going to test my theory on what's holding this on, and it is double-sided tape. So we will get this pried off. It's coming off rather easily. Up and out of the way. Also want to disconnect your cable from the receiver before you give it too much of a pull. So I've got a little bit of double-sided tape residue to remove. That should clean up really easily. I'll reapply some new double-sided tape. As I said before, I'm going to try to rerun my LED lights through this little notch in the side. I did have it kind of pinched off on the between the lid and the container for the receiver box. I don't want to have to do that again if I don't have to. So we'll run that through here. We'll get the new ESC hooked up, we'll get it fastened, and then we will fire it up and see what we can do with it. All right, the Carisma ARC-1 has been installed. Double-sided tape has been applied. I did read through the manual as I was waiting for some of my Goo Gone to soften up some of the residue, and I found out how to program this thing. So we're going to just run through some of the basics of programming this ESC right now. To kick off the programming for this ESC, you turn on your transmitter, and then you hold the throttle down all the way. Now, before I go any further, I'll say that in the manual, they suggest removing the pinion gear. I'm not going to tear all of this apart just to do that. I just simply disconnected the motor wires, so I have no power running to the motor at the moment. So just be careful. Either elevate your rig off the ground or off of your workbench when you do this. You do have to go full throttle to initiate the setup sequence. So again, transmitter's on, holding the throttle in all the way. We're going to turn on the ESC. You see the green light blink. So about 5 seconds, you hold the throttle in all the way, then you release. And that's crawler mode. I'm going to try that. I had this for a real quick run with the out-of-the-box settings, and it handled quite well. It had a nice rolling stop to it, which is, again, good for trail running. But I'm thinking that this crawler mode is going to really give us a little bit more drag brake, which is what you want if you're going on rocks and things like that. So we're going to give this a try. Here's an example of crawler mode. Again, it's that 4th setting on Carisma's ARC-1 ESC. So we're going to give it some throttle and stop, throttle. It's drastic stop. Very drastic stop. So again, there's that drag brake engaging, and that's really similar, very similar to what we found in the Hobby Wing ESC. So out of the box, and again, we didn't really care for that. I didn't mind that much, but again, my older son, who's not quite used to that abrupt of a braking setup, he didn't really care for it that much. We did try switching it to the non-drag brake mode, and neither one of us cared for that. So it was either drag brake or nothing. So again, I'm really happy to see Carisma come out with their own style of ESC and put their own kind of spin on how they want their rigs to perform powered through this. Now, I'm going to go ahead and get this set back to that first setting to give us a little more gradual rolling stop. Again, it's great for trail running, not so much if you are going down steep inclines, but you can always control it through hitting the reverse and doing braking that way. And there you have it, the installation of Carisma's ARC-1 ESC, nestled nicely underneath the lid of our Lynx. I'm not sure when you're going to start seeing those specific ESCs in the new runs of these models, whether it's the Lynx or the Coyote. Like I said, I do believe it is included in the Coyote kit, so keep an eye out for that if you're looking to build a trail rig from Carisma. Otherwise, you can buy one quite easily from carisma-shop.com at $34.99. For more information on the Carisma Lynx, head to rcnoob.com, where I have my written review of this vehicle. Like I said, we've been having a blast with it this summer. It's seen a lot of action. It's lost a few pieces. Both the side mirrors are gone. Other than that, it's been just rock solid, having a really good time with this machine, and looking forward to even more adventures yet before summer ends. So until next time, keep your batteries charged up, keep your nitro topped off, and we will talk with you later.